Hi all, welcome back to Normandy, the beginning of the end, using the Alone in the Storm solo expansion, playing scenario 2, German counterattack. This is my part 10 of the playthrough, the day after recording part 8 and 9. I watched back part 8 and I've uploaded that now. It's released. I spotted a couple of things that have bothered me. I spotted a mistake, which I've highlighted, and there's some couple other things sort of bother me. I also have a couple of comments that Hal had made from part 6 and 7, I think. Maybe part 7. I think they might have been both in part 7, actually. Which are quite interesting. And the second one that I'll get to, I've not quite looked at yet what he's completely meaning. I looked at it last night and I did reply to him saying that I'd had a couple of drinks and needed to probably look at that in the morning. So I haven't read it over yet, but I will get to it and we'll look at it here. First of all, well, let's talk about his two things first before I point out the mistake and the other thing that maybe could be considered a mistake, but I'm not really sure. This other one feels a bit weird. Okay, so on part 7, he says, "Hi Grant, at the 58-minute mark." Now, I think he might have got his timing wrong there, because I looked at the 58-minute mark and it didn't look like this is what was being talked about. But anyway, so might have been about the 48-minute mark. I think I looked back and I thought he's maybe 10 minutes out there. But anyway, he says the US unit in Hex 509 can in fact see the stack in 706. Right? Now I want to say this is up here, isn't it? So 509, 706 is here, right? So let's just nudge that back a little bit. So from here to here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, so they'll be in range of 4. Yeah, and this was a bit that was concerning me, and I decided that there was no line of sight here, but I think he's right. I think there is line of sight, and it's quite simple to look at. I think what bothered me was, in particular in this hex here, because this one is completely surrounded by bocage, right? This one's not, however. And then to look at both of these, we've got to look down the spine of this bocage hex. Well, I'll tell you something else. Also the fact that this has got as well, it's got two sides to it. Whether this is relevant or not, I don't think it is, and I think it's as he's put it, it's simple and it says in the rules. So can this see this by looking straight down that bocage hex side? Now he's behind this bocage, but that's not really relevant. We're going right down the hex side there, and then crossing this one bocage, if you like. I suppose this is crossing a bocage hex side, but when we're looking at him, I don't think we are crossing a bocage hex side, because that's not covered. This side is covered, but this side's not. This side's open. And of course the rule is, and he's highlighted, he's referenced the rule 5.3.1, page 8, second paragraph. It says, line of sight is also blocked if it passes along a hex side separating two hexes containing blocking terrain, right? So that would mean that looking down this hex side, this has got blocking terrain because it's completely covered in bocage, but this is not. So that's clear there. And then when we come to this one, this is considered to have blocking terrain. Yes, I would say that, because it's like him looking into that hex. You would be able to see into that hex, but not through into that hex. However, this has not got blocking terrain. So again, this has not got blocking, this has not got blocking. We're looking down the... So if we hadn't been talking about bocage here, let's look at a quick example of just right there, for instance. Let's just say there's a unit here and there's a unit here. Now, it's just the same as that. Can they see each other? Well, they couldn't see each other like that because that's blocking terrain. Looking at that, they're looking at each other down this hex spine. This is blocking terrain, this is not, so they can see each other. So that's what he's basically pointing out, that it's the same as that. And I think he's right, and I think I'm going to go with that. It still feels a little bit, because it's right down this whole blockage hex side, but I think the way he's pointed it out there, it seems to be right, you know. This hex is blocking terrain, and in a way it has. It's a wee bit different, you know. This hex is not, so it can see down that spine. Same with this. This isn't, so it can see down that spine. So sorry, it was that one there, wasn't it? Yeah, this is blocking. This is not, so it can see down the spine. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's how he points out. He says, if only one of the hexes has blocking terrain, line of sight is not blocked. From 509 to 706, it only crosses one blockage at 706 and 607. Where's 607? 706 is here and 607 is there. So that's the hex side that he's saying is crossing the blockage. I would, yeah, well, no. Yeah, it is only that one, really, because it's not really crossing it there, is it? If we go down the spine there, it's not crossing that, is it? And that one's open. So, yeah. Yeah, it feels right. It does feel right. From 509 to 706, it only crosses one blockage at 706 and 607. At least I think that it crosses a blockage at 706, 607. Although strict interpretation of the rules says that line of sight doesn't cross the blockage because it is on a spine with no blockage on at least one side of the spine. I would play it that it does cross blockage going into 706. So yeah, I'm going to take that. And I says, yes, I think you have this right, Hal. Your explanation has definitely got me believing that this is the way to go. It got me to check BGG, and I found this thread, which I think backs this up. And I'll discuss that in part 10. Let me just see what that thread says, because I'll put the link in that thread. Okay with that. Right, yeah, it was a kind of long drawn out thread though. You know what? I'm not gonna go through that. It was a Spanish guy that replied, and I think he had to get confirmation because he wasn't sure at first about the first reply. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to go with that now, and we're going to say that these do have line of sight. Did that cause any trouble? Well, it would have meant that we could have reacted to that. I think I'm just going to leave that. Although, where's my mistake again? My mistake is regarding the mortar section. Hopefully this is... no, that's this one we're looking at, isn't it? This isn't the mortar, is it? Well, that's an infantry as well. And the mortar's here, is that? Yeah. Yeah, this is a mistake, because the mortar's target was here. This is a mistake, and I'll get to that in a minute. So, I'm just going to leave... him moving there wasn't enabling that to have minimum MFF on it, because he would have still been halved and then halved again, remember. Half for range, half because he had no reaction marker. So it still would have been a 5, so no issue there. The only thing being is we could have attempted to react to that by seeing it and being able to... well, that's a point. You've got to watch for spotting though as well, Grant. Spotting chart. Because I did almost make a blunder with that before. Don't think this is a great issue because it's in... Oh, yuck. It's in normal... It's not depleted, right? It's in normal terrain. Sorry, it's in open terrain. Let me fix this mess a little bit first. It's in transit. Yeah, that's right. So it's in It's in open terrain and it's 4 hexes away. There is crossing a blockage, but I don't think for the spotting chart. It's small because it's infantry, and it's in the open. Yeah, it doesn't take any modifiers in it. Well, the modifiers are crestline and recon units. Aye, if you're up on higher elevation, there's modifiers. So it's 7 to 10 hexes away that can be seen in the open. It's only when you look at if it's in a built-up area or buildings, dispersed buildings, it's 3 to 5 hexes, which isn't as much. And then even worse still, built-up area, it's only 2 to 4 hexes, and I think that's the one I almost blundered with. Just got away with it before. Okay, so we'll leave the fact that could reacted and whatever. I mean, yeah, because I've moved on to the next turn, haven't I? Let's just leave that. But thanks for bringing that to attention, Hal, and I think you're spot on, and we're going to look at it that way from now on anyway. So that's good to get that one out of the way. Right, what was next? Right, so this is the one that it's also part 7. Unfortunately, no timestamp here, but let's try and work it out. It says, Grant, I believe that the Intel off-board marker should head to the US marker in 1209, with the target being 1208 adjacent. Right. So, I think here, he's talking about the mistake that I made with the assault movement. This is the one that ended up here in the buildings. Right, I better be clear here because I might have this wrong. I wish he had timestamped this, to be honest. Wish he'd gave me a timestamp, pal. This might be a different one. So, I believe that the Intel off-board marker should head to the US marker in 1209. The US marker in 1209 is there, right? With the target being 1208 adjacent here. Even though it can't reach in this impulse, since the next box on the assault order chart after selecting the target says, can it be reached in this activation? That's my take. I understand that when we're moving something, I mean, because these are all targets here. This is a target and he wasn't able to reach it. So that's where that goes. This is a target, he wasn't able to reach it. And so I'm not sure which one this was, though. The thing is, I don't believe this could have been the target, Hal, because unless we're talking about this assault one, though. What was it? Yeah, because he says, since the next block on the assault order chart, after selecting a target, says, can it be reached? Right, so he is talking about the one that we did assault with, because he talks about the assault order chart. So this is the one that finished up way back in the town. So we select a target, and then, again, we're not quite sure about this. The closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Okay, yes, I did decide that this was my target. Right? So what Hal's saying is that's the target and that's the destination hex, or that's the target hex, because it needs to go there and then what did I not work out that it wasn't reachable? Because remember, this was finished. Did not work out that it wasn't reachable. Well, it looks kind of reachable, but remember it was coming from far back. Let's just say, I want to say it was maybe a 3. Let's just say it was a 2. So 1. Let's just say that it's 1 movement point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's 6.5 to reach there. So what am I missing there? So it's plenty. It wouldn't matter where it was. It would be able to be reaching down there. But remember, it can't then assault the hex. So can be reached. Can it be reached in this activation? No. May attack with MFF? No. May be attacked with MFF? No. Can move to a hex with a higher divisor closer to the target or objective? Yes. Safe movement to that hex? Yes. Move to that hex? Well, I don't see how that can be the target down there though, Hal, because it's got it's got to move to a hex. It's got a higher divisor, although as long as it's closer to the target. If this is a target, yeah, this was either the target or that was the objective. It was a target. I still wasn't quite sure about all that, and I ended up the best target to go was this 5 or 4. In fact, did you not comment on that as well and said that you thought that was the right one to go in? Hang on. Yeah, he comments at the 29 minutes. I believe the hex for the infantry 8 is 804. As you put it there, as you put it for all the reasons you gave, highest terrain divisor, which was this one. So he says that was. I mean, he might just be saying that was right out the choices you were getting, but believe the Intel offboard marker should head to US. I don't know. I'm not quite getting it then, Hal. I wish you had timestamped it, but I'm thinking if I look through part 7, it'll be. Let me have a quick browse through it then. Hang on. Right, I'm not quite sure what it is. It seems to be the infantry A, the one that ends up here, and obviously since then I've. Well, actually, hang on. Was that in part 7? I noticed that being a mistake. What is this? This is part 10. I just watched back part 8. Oh, I can't remember. But I don't know what you're meaning here then, Al. If it should head to 1209, being the target 1208, which is adjacent, even though it can't reach it in this impulse, since the next box in the sort order charts after select the target says, can it be reached this activation? Yeah, I get that. It cannot be reached this activation. So it comes down here. May it attack with MFF? No. May it be attacked with MFF? No. Can it move to a hex with a higher divisor closer to target or objective? Yes. But this is not a higher divisor hex. This is just an open hex. So this can't be. Hold on, what is it? Is he saying that this is still the target? Well, I did ask that question, didn't I? I did ask the question that should we have an assault target here and the unit moving should still be in transit and moving towards its target. But I don't think this can be the target hex. Well, unless it is looked at that way. I chose to say that no, and I figured it was going to get a different order, but it all seems a bit silly, all that. That's why I do want to know about that. So if you are saying that the assault target, this should still be the assault target, the unit, I can't see how it could have moved right down to here, because that's not in a higher divisor hex, and there's nothing en route that it could have went into a higher divisor hex, apart from these two hexes here. Well, I think there's a couple before then, but they're further back. These are getting closer. And my issue was, should I go one hex further in the dispersed buildings and get a +4 divisor, or should I say one hex less close and get a +5? And the fact that assault order says, it's not the assault order, it's the advanced movement orders priorities say the highest divisor hex, and that's why I ended up there. But I don't know. You need to give me more of what you're meaning down here. I understand if you're meaning that these should still be considered its target at the time, but I don't think it couldn't have moved down there. It would have had to stay back there, because yes, it can't be reached in this activation, like you've pointed out. But this is the important one. It says can move to a hex with a higher divisor. Well, this is not a higher divisor. So unless you're meaning something different, then I'm not sure. Anyway, thanks for your comments. As Hal's been the main one giving feedback, and I think trying to encourage me to keep going with the game because he wants to see how it's going to play out. But well, we're still here, struggling along a little, but we're still here. Right, that was the only comments up to now. So mistakes. Well, something that's bothering me, but this is also linked to this mistake in a way. So when we moved the mortar to here, the mortar, in fact, I thought I was going to blunder with it at ATR as well. Where is that? Is that in there? I think that's there, right? There's the ATR A, right? And there's the mortar here. Isn't it? No, is it the one further up? Yeah, it's there. Okay, so the mortar's target was here, 1, 2, 3 hexes away, and that's why it's a mistake. The ATR's target is here. No. I know these have been given new orders now, haven't they? His target? No, you know what it was? His target was here, wasn't it? Yeah, his target was here, only 2 away from that. So that's good. That's the relevant part. And the reason that it's a mistake is because I was still counting them as 21 fire factors. That's what the infantry A's have, 21. Half of 21 is 10 and a half rounded up to 11. So it doesn't matter about the MFF is always going to be satisfied at 11. Because the maximum they need is 10, and that's only if it's a built up area or buildings. Just looking for confirmation of that. Minimum MFF, if it's a 4 or 5 divisor hex, like I say, built up area or dispersed buildings or woods, in fact, are 4, then it needs to have a minimum of 10, okay? Which 11 is always going to satisfy that. So I never thought it was going to be an issue. However, the mortar, its maximum MFF, its FF, fire factors are considered 14. And even worse, the ATR, the best it can get is 11. And I can only assume we're looking on this, the APFF chart, because that's the fire it's going to be. So, but 14 cut in half is only 7. So when we set this as our target, it's 3 away. So 3 away means it's going to be considered it's got to cut its FF by half, which cuts it down to 7. And if we look in here, we'll find that this is dispersed buildings, so it needs 10, and it's only got 7. Now, if it had been here, and I think this is what I'm going to do, because this wasn't a legal target for it to go, this was at the time, but this was 1 hex closer to where it started. That's why it went there. But that's an illegal target. Now, the problem being, though, well, can I not just move that 1 hex? Why did they go? He must have went up the trail. Because if I have this as the target for that, because it's fine there. He's going to have the full MFF. And to be honest, he's probably not going to move there now anyway, because this platoon's not finished now, and it can attack. So this is probably going to turn into a no deal anyway. But I can't have it there because that was an illegal placement for it. But I think if I put it there, I don't think he could reach there, could he? That's 1, 2 crossing the bocage and not crossing the river. So 1, 2, 3 not crossing the river. It's going to have to cross the river there though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'd be 6 to move into there. So it'd be double timing into there, and that is. Again, I don't know. I mean, I'm putting the target there. Could this have moved any closer? Well, if it got into this hex, would that have? No. See, Grant, it went up the trail. It needs to stay on the road, so we need to have came. I don't know. Could it have came right down to here? Maybe. Could it have come right down to here? It would have had the movement for it, and then it would be 1, 2 crossing the bocage into the open, then crossing the river, 3, 4, 5. Well, that would have worked, and that would have been safe because he was finished. So can I put that down there then and make that work? Or is that messing things about? Because we've activated these, coordinated these. You know what? I'm just going to leave it back up there. I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to leave that as its target. I think it's going to change its order now anyway. And the ATR one was fine because its target hex was there, and it was only 2 away, so it would have got its full 11 needed, and it needed 10, so that would have been fine. But again, it couldn't have been at range 3 either, because 11 cut in half is only 5.5 rounded up to 6, not enough to attack that. And then I spotted the sort of, which I think is a mistake, but I really don't know how you deal with this. Because every one of these intel markers that moved, right, with advanced movement, right, the very first one I want to say should have been here. This should have been the target for it, right? And I think I made a mistake with that at first. And the reason being that it's only 8 hexes away, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 hexes away from hex 800, so it's the closest to there, and it can fire with MFF on that. It's 3 away, so it's going to cut its firepower in half. So that, for an infantry platoon, for an infantry intel, not just an infantry A, because if you actually look, infantry B's fire factors are only 18. Now, cut in half is only 9, so then that would not apply, because this is a built up area. So, but we had 3 infantry A's, a mortar and an art ATR. So, every one of the infantry A's, see, and this is what, because in the rules it says, wait till I get the bit in the rules. Oh, this is annoying me. I can't find what it is I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is, in the rules, I'm sure it says that each... Is it just intel markers, maybe? I wonder if it's just intel markers. They can have the same target. They don't need to have different targets. I wonder if that is just intel markers, not... Right, give me a second. Right, okay, I think I found what I'm looking for here. This is page 22, so it's on the solo rules, under movement rules 10, and just looking here, what we have, this last paragraph here, it says, more than one company / intel marker may have the same movement target hex. Once an AI force arrives at that hex, the target marker for any other AI forces heading there are removed so that new orders may be assigned. So what I'm saying with that is that the first three intel markers to come on the map were all infantry A markers. All got the same 21 fire factors. If this was the hex for the movement, and assuming they rolled advance rather than assault, then I think the 3 of them should have been targeting this hex. All 3 of them. Because that's... Once we've targeted that for one, it doesn't mean that the others can't target that hex. Now, if it comes... And the thing is, the first move for that one, it's not able to reach it in the first move, so it moves there. And then next infantry marker comes on, he's going to target that hex and he's going to move to somewhere around about there. And then the same with the third one. Now the mortar and the ATR would not go there because they don't have the MF, they don't have the fire factors to reach that once, because it's 3 hexes away. It needs to be cut in half of 14.7, half of 11.6. So that doesn't work for them. But I'm just like... Because I put the first one there, And then I put the second one down here somewhere, I think, and then I put the third one up there or whatever. I can't remember. Actually, I think this was the very first one to move, but I think I made a mistake. I think this should have been the target because it's got a divisor of 3, that one, and that one's not. So, right, I'm just going to leave that there for now. I'm not going to try and fix all that, but I'd appreciate anybody's thoughts on that. You know, if this is the hex that first takes priority for an infantry A marker coming on, and the second infantry A marker is going to come on next, shouldn't it have the exact same target hex? Assuming it's doing the same thing, advance. And then the third one, which should have the exact same target hex, I think so. I might be wrong. My thinking of that might be off. So let me know what you think. Okay, right, let's try and get some gameplay. Grant, you're 31 minutes in and nothing's happened. So I'm not going to... Did I adjust anything or did I just leave it? Well, actually, I think I moved this target marker, didn't I? Because that shouldn't have been there. That was not legal, whereas that is... I think when we come to activate him, he's not going to do anything. Oh, one other thing I noticed when I was looking last night, and it was in here, this is on page 12, and it's these notes again that come up on the action. They're on the action... the orders chart. It's these here down the bottom. I got caught out a little bit before with these. And the one that caught my eye was regarding assault, and I want to say it's there. So if we can zoom in there, Grant. There we go. So it says, assault movements can only be performed by platoons that may start an assault procedure in that activation. And I was like, oh, okay. So all platoons who cannot assault in the current turn may not perform this order, so they receive and perform an attack order instead. That's in there. Just hidden away in the notes. So I'm still a little unclear if that means that if I roll an assault order on this chart, and there's lots of them, there's quite a lot of assaults mentioned here, and you know, it's possible to roll them. I mean, okay, these are low chances, but it is possible to roll them. So if I ever roll an assault, do I need to comply? Well, I know I need to comply with this, but does that mean I cannot carry it? I mean, that assault order is completely ignored and I get an attack order? It can only be assault movements. See, the thing is, it talks about assault movements there. It's not... But hold on, read that again. Can only be performed by platoons that may start an assault procedure in that activation. All platoons who cannot assault in the current turn may not perform this order. So that's as if it's saying it can't perform the order there. I mean, it's talking about assault movements there. I think that tells me that if I ever roll the dice and it comes up an assault and I can't carry out and start an assault procedure with it, then I'm giving it an attack order instead. Right. Well, I'll leave that one with you as well. What do you think of that? Right, okay, let's get a little bit of gameplay for this part at least. So I had left these 2 red cubes here, hadn't I? Because we hadn't completely finished and we were just running out of time a bit last night. So this is high activity level. Ooh. Yeah, we haven't rolled the dice. We haven't rolled the dice for that yet either, because there's only one high activity level marker. But in saying that, they haven't carried it in action yet, and it did seem, and I think this was another one Hal pointed out, I think, it does say in the rules that it has to do the action first, then you roll the dice. I don't think it matters, but that's how we're going to do it. So this is going to assault, right? What was this going to do then? So we've got all the orders, and these are coordinating. This is going to attack something. This is going to assault something. This is going to attack something. And I want to say that's going to assault something. So now another bit I came across in the rules recently was if they're in the same hex and they're going to assault They have to assault the same hex, obviously. So we've got one intel marker that's going to attack. We've got these two platoons. These two platoons are going to do the same thing, so they are going to try and do an assault. Okay. So we've given them their orders. Do we now need to follow the flowchart? I think so. Now hang on. There's a priority. Oh, there we go. I've got that book at the right bit. In some cases, forces with more than one assigned order and different targets must be activated. In these situations, the actions must be performed following the preset order from the executing orders priority chart, which is C. Right, that's this one. Okay. So the thing is, we've not got our targets yet. So do we not need to find out that first? I think we do. So executing priority orders. Executing orders priority rules. At this point, you've chosen one AI force to activate according to the activation priority rules. Next, you've assigned orders to each AI platoon, and the order. Yeah, we've not checked the order flow diagrams, marking the AI force with orders with target mark and the targets of those movement attack assault orders with target markers. No, well, that's what we didn't do. So I don't think we're going to prioritize who's going to go first yet. We need the right. So we've got 2 that are marked attack and 2 that are marked assault. Well, these and that. So let's look at the assault, because I've got that flow diagram here. Now let's see if this can happen. And remember the bit that we've just read. If these cannot carry out an assault, then it's going to get switched to an attack order. And that was in one of the notes. So it's maybe not going to lead us to this here. Although there's a bit there where it says perform attack there, and there's one up there as well. In fact, there's one down the bottom there as well. So select a target. Now, down the bottom again, the target is the closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? That's not going to happen, because the American platoons are all ready for action now, aren't they? This guy's not finished anymore. So, is it as straightforward as that, and they're not going to assault? They need to be able to do it with safe assault. And safe assault, as it's on this chart as well, says it needs to have safe movement. So we need to be able to we need to be able to move adjacent. I mean, we can't come down the road there. 1, 2, 3. So we can move 3 hexes down this road. But then when we reach here, we're in a clear hex. So this can fire at us for, well, it's not got a reaction marker, so it can fire at us for 9. And in a clear hex, anything up 6 or more, players may react, safety movement requirements, or player may not react, or player may react, but only up to 6 in hexes with divisor 2 or 3. That's not going to be the case. In fact, he's going to be able to fire for 9 in there. When we move down in there, he's going to be able to fire for 9 in there as well. So that's not going to be a safe movement, which means it's not going to be a safety assault. So that is impossible then. Does that just mean... Well, no, that note said if it can't carry out. Well, I don't think it can. So it's not... And there's no other targets that it can move to. So... Yeah, because, select a target. Target says the closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. There's no target for it. There's no target. So, again, I find this a bit weird that it doesn't say, it doesn't have a branch saying if no target. That could, that could bring you down. It brings you down to here because it talks here about no target. So, can it be reached? That doesn't really apply to us. So we're coming down this no target available. May attack with MFF. Maybe. Now that Hal's brought to light the whole... I can take these cubes off. The whole fact that running down the bocage spine is fine, as long as it's not blocked on either side. So let me just nudge this out the way, just make sure we're not going to... So this is what we're talking about here. Now, this is in White Woods, this hex. So this is blocking terrain, this is open, so this is not blocking terrain, which means we can run right down there, into there, and then we can run right down this hex side. This is blocking terrain as well. We can run down that hex side, and he can actually... So he does have line of sight on them, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away. Okay, and just checking his... well, he was finished at the time, so that's fine. That's fine. So he's got a fire. Now hold on. Yeah, no, that's fine. His range is 3. His range is 2. So they're both out of range. They're both needing long range, if you want to call it long range. So that's 7 and 4 is 11, and that's going to be cut in half to 6.5, to 5.5, rounded up to 6. So it's going to have a fire factor of 6, and I can see that. Now, hold on. Can it see that? This is in dispersed buildings. So let's just check that spotting chart, because I want to say it's 3 to 5 hexes, but where is that chart? Here. Right, hold on. Give me a sec. So there's a spotting chart, and we're looking at dispersed buildings, and the target is infantry, so it's small, green. So the 3 is a stationary target. Yeah, it's only 3. He can't spot that. There you go. He can't spot that. If the American units had been moving, it'd be a 5 hexes, but it's only 3. So just as well we remember that then, because he's 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away. So he can't attack that. Right, let's come back to the flow chart then. So that was mate attack with MFF. And at first I was going to say, well, actually, hang on. It was attacking with what? 6. And 6 into a dispersed building, it needs to have 10. So it would be a no anyway, wouldn't it? But it can't see it. So it's not really got anything to fire at. Maybe attack with MFF. That's possible, because I bet he can be spotted. He's in the open. So looking at the spotting chart for that, he's not moved. So that's 7 hexes away. So he can see him. Can he fire at him with MFF? Well, he's got 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the other thing. He can't fire at that because he's got 2 friendlies down this. So although this is not blocking hex, 2 friendlies in each hex, I have to say that he can't fire then. Anyway, we've found out they can't even see this. Can't spot it. But this can fire back at him, and I don't think it's restricted into, it can ignore these 2 and fire at this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away. It's got 18. Cutting. No, Grant. Well, hold on here. Maybe attack with MFF. Actually, yes, because it's not asking about reaction here, I think. It's just saying, that firing at that, if it was the Americans' turn, it would be able to fire at that with 9 fire factors. 18 cut in half is 9. So that satisfies the MFF. Now, if it was to react against this, it would cut in half again, and it would only be 5, which is not the 6 required. But it's not really asking that on that chart. I know this is a rad. I wonder if I should just look at the wording in the rad for that. Hang on a second. Yeah, the rad wording is may be attacked with MFF. So that's a yes. I'm going to say that's a yes. I say, if I knew it was talking reaction fire here, I would say it's a no, but it doesn't really, it's not really asking, it's not saying that. It's just, I mean, if we don't do anything with that unit and leave it there, that could fire with MFF on that next turn. Mind you, it could fire them with these on MFF. Well, so let's just answer no to that. Yes with that. Yes to that. So yes, it may be attacked. So placed in defensive terrain, well, it's not, is it? It's in an open hex. So no. Can it move to a hex with higher divisor closer to target or objective? Well, again here, we didn't have a target. So, but there is an objective that it could move closer to. I suppose. Oh, well, I'm saying there is, but is there? Is there an objective? Because obviously it can't move. Well, that's not divisor. I mean, there's nothing round about actually that's going to get it closer. I mean, this. Well, hang on. 1, 2, but as soon as it moves into there, this can fire with MFF on it. So can it go 1 into there and then go 2, 3? No, it's not going to get down to there, Grant. Is that getting closer? The objective is 1, 2, 3 away. That would be make it 1, 2, 3 away. So that's not closer either. Right, well, what's to say no to that question then? Can move to a hex with higher divisor closer to target or objective? And I'm ignoring the word target there because I don't think we have a target. So we're just looking at that objective marker. So no to that. Is it in offensive mode? Rush greater than 0? Yes. May attack even below MFF. Well, I would have been saying yes to that until I realised that he's not got line of sight because these two friendlies are on either side of that hex. You know, he can't fire down there. He can't fire past A2. So I would have to say no to that as well. Which takes us down to place reaction marker. Okay, well, the flowchart has taken us to that, right? But let's just have a little reminder of what that note said. And in fact, it's on, let's see how it's worded on the flowchart, that note. Because bearing in mind, this note kicks in when we give it the order in the first place. So when we rolled the dice for these, we got an assault result, okay? And this note, in the very bottom there, it starts off, assault movement may only be carried out by sections that can assault in that same activation. Those who cannot will receive an attack order. I think that, well, I've already said that I'm going to take that as that overrides the assault order in the first place. So all that I've just been through is a whole lot of nonsense. These should not have been allowed to get an assault order in the first place. Yes. Yes, they shouldn't have. So they are going to get an attack order, and my guess is it's going to be the same for the other ones. The other one that was carrying out assault, isn't it? because it's not going to be. It can't do safe assault. So we're going to change all these up then. And in fact, I don't need 2 attack markers now, do I? I take that assault away, and then both these units are going to carry an attack. So everybody here is carrying an attack instead of assault. As always, let me know if you think I'm getting all that wrong, please. Okay, let's forget about the assault flow diagram and find the attack one that's on the back. Good. Right. Okay. Well, let me... maybe I should look at these guys first. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really prioritise who we should look at first here when we're deciding who's going to do what. But maybe it doesn't matter here. Well, let's just carry on with. Let's do the same guy again. So he's going to attack order this time, and hopefully we've got that right. Select target to attack. Okay. Attack target. Here it is. Here. Right. Problem is he doesn't have an attack, does he? He doesn't have cause of the other units in the way. The closest hex occupied by player platoons that may be attacked with MFF. Right. With several options, first choose the hexes with a lower divisor value, then choose a target that may be attacked with a higher FF. If there are still options available, choose hexes with a larger number of objectives for the AI side. If there aren't objectives available, choose the hex occupied by fully non-rated player platoons. All the platoons of the hex with a higher amount of lost steps. So again, I think when I looked at this before, choose the hex occupied by player platoons that may be attacked with MFF, right? Well, sorry. I think I read that wrong. It says the closest hex occupied by player platoons that may be attacked with MFF. This is the closest player platoons that could be attacked with MFF, but he can't do it. So does this mean he needs to be able to carry out this attack right now? Which is kind of what I was feeling there at first. But I think when I've looked at this before, I sort of said, well, that's his target, although he can't reach it. So let's say that this could be the target, although he can't actually do it. Let's say we've got a target, or maybe we've not got a target. So, yeah, because the next one says target to attack with MFF without movement. Yeah, it's right there, Grant. Well, I remember it's been a while since we went through this one again. So we've got the target, I think, even though we can't attack it just now. But then why would I ask this question? You know, if this... Sorry, I know I'm going on over all this, but just really want to try and understand it. If there's a target, this first sentence means the closest hex occupied by player platoons that may be attacked with MFF right now, you know, at this moment. If it means that, then it doesn't need to ask this question, does it? It doesn't need to ask that, because so it must mean, just look, find your target that can be attacked with MFF, and these guys have got well, let's look at they've got 11, was it? They've got 11 fire factors, right? So here's a point. I mean, if they didn't have enough fire factors to carry out the attack, no matter how close they got, then it maybe wouldn't be able to do this. However, they've got 11, and if it was to move here, right, 11 would be good enough to attack that, or here, or anything within 2 hexes that's got line of sight on that would be good enough to attack that. So yeah, and remember, this can't spot that from there either. But I don't think that matters, because it's asking the question, the closest hex occupied by player platoons that may be attacked with MFF. We're looking at this guy, and that's the closest. right? And then there would be no need to have this question in here if it meant it needs to fire right now. Because that question is target to attack with MFF without movement. Well, no. If it was a yes, it would come down here and it would just attack it. So no is the answer. Is it placed in defensive terrain? No. It's in the open. Is the target for safe assault available? No. Because we've already looked at that, and that's why it's not got the assault order. So that no comes to here. Why is there two no's here? That is just coming to here, isn't it? Why is there two no's here? I mean, this one comes from no, it comes straight down. It doesn't turn the corner around. This is coming straight down. That's what I think it's just a reminder that it's the same one. So, target for safe assault available, no. Defensive mode, is it in defensive mode? Resist greater than 0. Hold on. Right, that's why there's two no's, because this isn't ending in an arrowgram. So this target for safe assault comes along here and then goes down here, surely. Because that's where its arrow ends. And this no is coming from, if it was coming here, it was asking the question, defensive mode, resist greater than 0. If it's a yes, it go that way. If it's a no, it comes down here and goes to here as well. Right, okay. Got it now, got it. No swimming against arrows. Well, there was no arrows I was swimming against there. It was just there was no arrow I was swimming with. So, I'm swimming with it this time. Defensive terrain available where attacking with MFF is possible. I want to say this could be... Well, when it asked this... Defensive terrain available where attacking with MFF is possible. And we're looking at this. The only defensive terrain we would have where it was possible to attack with MFF on this, I want to say would be these two X's here. Because this is a 3, this is a 3. Now, hold on, stop yourself there, Grant. What is the definition of defensive terrain, you may ask? Oh, I don't want to look at that. I think I just want to say that it's anything with a 3 or greater. Because once I start looking into that, it's really going to annoy me. Because that's the one about the defensive line and... where is that again? Remember we came across that and that was just horrible. Defensive terrain. Right, give me a second. Yeah, it's got its own rule here. Defensive terrain is in the contents of the rulebook actually. So I should have found it easier than that. A defensive terrain is any group of adjacent hexes with a high terrain defensive value. See, I can't... that's why I was reluctant to go and come and look for it. Because I don't really want to... A defensive terrain is any group of adjacent hexes with high terrain defensive value. High terrain defensive value. So what is the definition of that? Located next to each other with a lower terrain defensive value. Built up areas... Woods and dispersed buildings are treated as high defensive value hexes, since their divisor against any FF type is at least 3. Hexes with fortifications, bunkers or trenches are also considered. Because of this, in some scenarios, light woods may be considered defensive terrain. Okay, I'm really not going to try and look at this as well. I think we've got enough to try and worry about here without trying to work out about this defensive line nonsense. By all means, if somebody wants to say that this is very important to me and I should be doing that, I think there's lots more things that I need to understand before going into stuff like this. And I almost feel like ignoring this as well. It's not how I want to be playing the game, but this is clearer, don't get me wrong. It's probably quite clear, but so if it's asking us there, is defensive terrain available? Well, is there any group? The problem is, look, I mean, that means that, see this hex here? It's got dispersed buildings, right? Now, they're treated as high defensive value hexes. However, there's just one of them. There's not a group of them together. So, does that mean that's not classified as defensive terrain? Because there's only one of them? That feels like that should be a no to that question. That should apply as defensive terrain, but it says, because of this, in some scenarios, light woods may be considered defensive terrain if they are surrounded by open terrain with a lower device value. Well, okay then, Grant. It does only mention it as light woods, though. It doesn't talk about marshes or what could some of the other fields. Fields are 3. Marshes are 3. Rough is 3, which I think that's rough there actually. Looks a bit different. I think that's marsh, or is that? Am I getting muddled up? Is that rough? No, I don't know. That was like a combination of the two, maybe. But anyway, there's no mention there about defensive terrain being fields or marshes or rough. Okay, it does mention light woods, which are these. Now, and it's saying if they're surrounded by open ground. So, if we had some that were clumped together, like this one up here, maybe it's got light woods either side of it, then I'm guessing that means it's not classed as defensive terrain. This hex here. I mean, this one as well, not, because it's not completely surrounded by open terrain because of this one, and same with this. I mean, that all feels like a bit of a nonsense to me, like. But let's take from that and say that this as a defensive terrain is available in this hex, and then would it be attacking with MFF? No, it wouldn't actually, Grant. It needs to be 2 hexes away. Because if it's more than 2 hexes away, its 11 is getting cut down to 6. And 6 is not enough because I need 10 to be attacking there. So I need to be 2 hexes away. The only hex possible, well, that works. And that works. Because that's 2 away and it's in defensive terrain, I think. This is 2 away. Is this classed as defensive terrain? Well, no. Not what I'm reading that. There's no mention of swamps, marshes. I mean, I thought at first when I read about defensive terrain that it was anything that had a 3 divisor. And I thought, right, that's quite clear and that's good. And I liked it. I liked the thought of that. And I quite kind of want to maybe see if this guy can move to here. Because, yeah, that seems quite a good plan, but... Look at this, an hour and 3 minutes. And I'm going to need to take a break. Can I cut this as a part? Oh, that's horrible. And we've still not moved them. I think I do need to go and get something to eat, so... And I'm going to... I think you've got to say that the answer to that is going to be a no then, isn't it? I'm going to put a red cube in here and we're going to come back to this. Because, yeah... This is taking... It's just taking too long here. Sorry, folks. It's just how it goes. I think people that still watch my videos, they know that these things are going to happen. So the red cube is going to match up with this guy, and that's where we're at. We're asking the question: is the offensive terrain available? We're attacking with MFF as possible, and I'd like to say that I would like to consider this as being a yes. But I think it's a no. If this was a Fields Hex, I would say it was a yes, but this one, but I'm not going to be able to reach that, am I? Doesn't ask that though, Grant. Is defensive terrain available where attacking with the MFF is possible? Possibly. That could be a hex, but I mean, he's never going to reach there, is he? But I suppose that means there is a possible safe movement available is the next question. Right, okay. I'm going to stop for now. I'm going to cut this, create this as a part, and I'm definitely going to come back for another bit because I'm still keen to see how this is going to play out a bit. Hopefully I'll be able to get right into the gameplay when I come back this time and actually move some things about. Okay, I'll be back later. Cheers.